Perfect. It shows that we are live on our YouTube and Facebook page. So we'll just double check that really quickly. Right, I'm starting to see a couple people that are tuning in with us. As you start hopping on, please start giving me a thumbs up and engaging with us. We'll be starting here momentarily. I knew I was missing something. There we go. That looks a lot better. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with our broadcast. For those of you that do start hopping on here, go ahead and react to the video so I know who is tuned in and who's engaging with us. Today's broadcast is to highlight another small business of ours that we've been partnering with for Westminster Small Business Week. Of course, Small Business Week runs from the 12th or the 13th until the 20th of September, and we have been doing numerous things to support our businesses, from these live broadcasts to educational webinars that we have for our entire business community, to even the marketing and promotional posts that some of you may have already seen. Now, before we jump into this broadcast, I want to take a step back and reintroduce myself to you. I am Juliette Abdel, your Westminster Chamber President and CEO, and I just wanted to welcome you onto our broadcasts. If you are a returning viewer, then thank you for engaging with us and for knowing what to do next, which usually means hitting that share button on your side of the screen so others in your network can see that we're live and can kind of join us on here. Of course, if it is your very first time on our broadcast, do not let it be the last. Make sure that you like our page, that you are following the page as well by setting up the notification alerts. That will save you bukus of time figuring out if we've posted anything, because Facebook would automatically alert you when we go live. Of course, we're on all social media platforms. So if you didn't already know this, we stream this on our YouTube channel as well. So at the very same time that we're here on Facebook, we're on our YouTube page. So hello to you on our YouTube channel. And then we're also on everything social media. So you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Westy Chamber. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And if you've not already done so, our website directly is westminsterchamber.biz. But I know most of you have already gone to our website, so it's kind of a redundant point. But I'm very excited because today's broadcast, we do have with us Carrabba's. We have Parker Brown, who has been our Westy Achiever. Last year was awarded this at our awards gala. Parker, I'm very excited to have you on this side of the screen with me today.
I'm excited as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Of course. So, Small Business Week is always an exciting time. But before we really touch on this and kind of what you guys are doing for Small Business Week, I want people to really get to know you a little bit more, Parker. I've had the opportunity of working with you for almost 2 years now, and I continue to learn about your involvement in the community and just you as an individual and person. So, let's find out who Parker actually is outside of just Carrabba's.
No, absolutely. So originally I was born in Mississippi, lived in Mississippi for about 18, 19 years, moved to Colorado back in 2003. After Hurricane Katrina, they needed a lot of people down in New Orleans, so I moved back down to New Orleans with the Marriott hotels, for a few years. Once all that got straight, came back out here in 2009, and been running Carrabba's ever since. I have 2 kids. I have a beautiful wife, and then I'm on a member of a lot of different boards, such as the License and Permit Board for the City of Westminster, the chairman of the advisory panel for the police department. I am the chairman of the License Authority for Jefferson County. I am also on the District Accountability Committee for Jefferson County Public Schools. So I stay pretty busy.
Yeah, you do. I don't know how you fit all that time in, but and I had no idea that you were from Mississippi originally. So I feel like that's probably how you and Herb used to engage pretty well, because that's where he was originally. That's so funny.
It is. We have connections.
Yeah, putting 2 and 2 together now for sure. And your little ones, that they're in the school district already.
Yes, I got a freshman at Stanley Lake, and then I've got a 5th grader at Betty Adams Elementary.
Oh my gosh. So how was that for you during the time of COVID, not only trying to figure out your business and whether or not you guys can operate and be open, but also dealing with the education piece and having kids that are in high school and even younger?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was definitely a challenge. How do you balance to make sure that they're taken care of, being at home, every single day, restaurants taken care of, families taken care of. But between me and my wife, we really made it happen, because she ended up working remote, half the time, so I was just going to work later, get things done, and then she'd be at home.
It's great when you have an awesome support network, and teamwork makes it go a step further. So let's talk all things Carrabba's. Carrabba's is a brand that a lot of people probably have seen, and when they see it, I think that they generally think it's just all kind of this corporate entity and not necessarily individually managed or individually owned. So let's talk a little bit more about that concept with everyone.
Yeah, so when people look at Carrabba's, yeah, absolutely, you're absolutely right. They think, all right, Carrabba's is a national chain, which it is. But each Carrabba's is individually owned, is individually ran, operated, from everything from, start to finish. Great company. We have the flexibility to kind of do what we want to do, and yeah.
That is awesome. I see Counselor Seymour on here with us. Thank you for tuning in, Counselor Seymour. So each location is individually owned and operated. Does that mean that kind of your menus change from one location to the next, or is it pretty standard? And if it is pretty standard, what is that type of menu that people can expect?
Yeah, it's a standard menu across the board. That that's part of the contract we have with our corporate headquarters. Everything is made from scratch. Everything's done fresh. What we're known for, obviously, is Italian food. But if you're going to go in there, the best thing off our menus are grill. Anything off the grill. From our steaks, our pork chops, our chicken. Obviously, pastas, is a no-brainer. We have plenty of pasta dishes. But we're famous. Carrabba's Italian Grill is famous for, our grill and our steaks and, seafood and pork chops and chicken marsala.
Oh my gosh, I know you're making me hungry already. This is probably not a good idea to have you on here around the lunch hour. Now, so I love the idea that everything is made from scratch, because a lot of times when you go to some places to eat or dine, it's a little bit difficult whenever you have dietary restrictions to try and emphasize that to them. The response that comes back is usually, oh, we can't take this out, or it's already pre-made. Do you all have a mechanism to try and deal with folks that might be like me, a little bit more particular, or that have, sensitivity or other types of issues?
Oh, absolutely. We can pretty much accommodate every single dietary restriction out there. Whether it's vegetarian, vegan, gluten free, celiac disease, anything we can do. We put all of our sauces on the line. We don't mix anything ahead of time. Obviously, set the base of the sauces, and we cook right there in front of you.
And how long have you been? So how long has Carrabba's been here in Westminster, and have you owned it the entire time that it has been around?
I have not. Carrabba's has been there since December of 1995.
Oh my gosh.
I took over in 2009.
Okay.
Working there, yeah.
So that's over a decade.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What has changed? Has anything changed?
The biggest thing that's changed is, making sure we're meeting the needs, of all these dietary restrictions, making sure we're really keeping an eye on calorie counts, and everything that's way bigger now than what it was 25 years ago, 26 years ago.
Yeah. I love that. I'm trying to get it all in the chat section.
Right. A lot of things have changed over 26 years, and, we just adapt to them and accommodate them and take care of people.
Absolutely. Well, and it shows that you really do care about them, because outside of just Carrabba's, you're volunteering your time in so many other worthwhile organizations with municipalities and education, of course, even in the business community. So let's shift on over to Small Business Week. We mentioned this at the very start and shared that between the 13th through the 20th is Small Business Week, that we are trying to promote some of our area businesses. Are you doing anything to kind of encourage people to come out your way? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So if you mention Small Business Week while in a restaurant, you automatically get 15% off your check. In addition, something that we're doing all year long is if you come in there and you mention that you saw us in the Chamber of Commerce video, or you mentioned, or you're part of the Chamber of Commerce, you automatically get 15% off.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. I should have mentioned that to our ambassadors went out there for our Dine Local campaign recently. So every month we pop in and see some of our area businesses. And I know that they popped into Carrabba's because they
made me start it.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love that. That is so great to kind of reward other people that are in business, that are supporting you and supporting one another. So 15% off is considerable. A lot of times people see 15% off and they're like, 15% off. The margin for restaurants is pretty low in terms of the costs that are involved in there. And then of course, what you're actually making on a per order basis, if that makes sense. So that's a considerable amount that you're able to kind of shave off and give up out to people. And I just wanted to kind of emphasize that so folks can really know that you're offering something that's a pretty big deal on your end.
Absolutely. And the goal is to get people to come in there and try us and realize we're not just another chain restaurant. We're a family-run restaurant.
Absolutely. Emilio, I see you on here with us. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully anyone that is starting to hop onto the broadcast, you may be seeing some of the comments. I'm doing my best to capture everything that Parker is sharing. He does so much in our community personally, not only as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, so much that they're doing at their location since he's owned it from 2009 until today. And then of course for Small Business Week, he's offering 15% off for Small Business Week. And then just overall for any chamber member that goes out and supports him, it's 15% off, which is a huge perk, a huge member-to-member perk that's there. What have I left off or haven't asked you about Carrabba's that you are like, I am dying for you to know this?
I mean, the biggest thing that differentiates us from other Italian restaurants is we do make everything from scratch, all the way from our dressings, soups, sauces, everything is made from scratch. The only thing we don't make from scratch is we don't grow our own produce, and we don't, but we do try to buy local, and we don't have a seafood farm here in Colorado. So some of that does come in, not fresh, but everything is made frozen. Everything's made fresh. We have prep cooks in there every morning at 4 or 5 a.m. Starting the day off, and Monday through Thursday we don't open till 4 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
We're prepping all day ready for the dinner shift.
Well, and for a while too, I hadn't realized that you were open for lunch, even on Friday. So that was something that I reached out. I was like, man, I really, really want to go out there during lunch, but you're not open whenever I've looked. And you're like, no, we are. Here's what the hours are. And so sometimes I feel like when we're in a rush, we look at something at one time and then you don't consider the other days as options and plan around it. Emilio just quickly commented and shared that your food is awesome, which, high compliment. Emilio does dine almost local at every single establishment that's out there. So thank you so much, Emilio, for that comment out to Parker. Parker, another concept, and I'm going to go back to the health because this is one of those things that I feel like we're in this age that people are paying attention a lot more to what they're eating. And when we talk about calories and we're talking about intake, some locations and some places have created this, they have their normal menu and then they differentiate on that menu, or they delineate on there, like if it is gluten-free, if it is vegetarian, or here are plates that are, below this count in calories. Is that a similar concept that you're following in your restaurant?
Absolutely. On our menu, we only have one menu, and that just helps kind of streamline things. But every menu is denoted with either a GF next to the menu item. There's a V for vegetarian next to the menu item, and every single menu item has the calorie count listed right next to it.
Yeah, I love that. I love the transparency.
We try not to hide anything.
You mentioned chefs earlier, and your chefs that are really preparing. Some of the sauces really are prepared a little bit in advance, but the rest of the things are really on that spot and making sure that it's that quality that people can appreciate. How are you holding out in terms of workforce? Is this an opportunity for people, if someone's tuned into this broadcast and they're like, oh my gosh, I know someone who's left this industry that might be looking for your position. How is your kitchen looking, or your overall restaurant, so that others may be aware and can also help in supporting you in that regard?
Absolutely. Staffing's definitely been a challenge, especially over the last year. The kitchen, we finally crossed our fingers that it stays this way, is fully staffed. What we're looking for right now is a couple more servers and several hosts.
Thank you. So where can people find you?
We're right on the corner of 92nd and Old Wadsworth, right in the same shopping centers, Brakes Plus, Discount Tire, some of those other businesses right there. We're right on that corner.
Awesome. And I've included that.
West 92nd Avenue.
I've included that address in there. If your GPS attempts to say that is in Broomfield, it's not. It's in Westminster. I had someone say that one of the businesses in your area that was over there, they're like, we thought we were in Broomfield, and we reached out to the Broomfield, the city and their chamber and everything, because the GPS pulled up that location. It is in Westminster, 92nd and Old Wadsworth for you. You also offer a variety of ways that people can support your business, meaning that they can dine in, they can take it out. Can you go through some of those avenues that people can support you?
Absolutely. Obviously, you can dine in. We do the curbside carry out. We bring it out to your car. We've been doing that for years, way before COVID started. We kind of dove into that about 15 years ago and started that. As well as we do a lot of caterings. We do weddings, we do birthday parties, luncheons, office parties, office luncheons. We had 42 weddings that we've catered this year. We're catering a big catering next month for 1,800 people. So there's no group too small or too big.
That is awesome. I love that. And they can find you on all major delivery platforms as well.
Yeah, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. You can find us on all of them. Or you can just go to www.carrabba's.com, find our menu there, or just call me directly.
And if they go to carrabba's.com, they can order directly from there. If they call, can they also order as well?
Yes, absolutely. I've got a wonderful to-go team who's ready to answer every phone call and every question you have.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I love this. You've got just everything has worked out very well. And I feel like you always are one that looks at what else is out there and what innovation can I bring into my restaurant? What resources are there that I can take advantage of and also support our employees and their workforce. So I think that all has been great. For those of you that are tuned in with us, we have Parker Brown from Carrabba's specifically for Small Business Week, but I've kind of asked him in a big roundabout way a lot of different questions about the restaurant. So if you are curious about anything, feel free to type us any comments or questions on our end. And otherwise, I'm going to continue talking with Parker because I feel like I can keep this up all day. Parker, you were Westy Achiever last year, which is awesome. And we're going to be posting your quote and your photo and everything from that online. Nominations are open right now for anyone to submit for our awards, and they are different award categories from that individual recognition that we offer to small, large business, national business, business excellence. I mean, so many award categories. And you were so shocked. So last year when our nominations came through for you, we probably had a handful of people that had selected you as a Westy Achiever, and all of them, time and again. So, I can give you the names later if you want to pay them off, but all of them were saying how great you are, not only in your business, but in the community. How did that feel to you, just to have some of that recognition and some people that took that time to put into words how they felt about you?
I mean, truthfully, when I found out, sitting at the table, at the gala that I was winner, I was shocked. I didn't really know what to say because I wasn't really expecting it. Because when I do things for the community, when I do things in the restaurant, I don't necessarily do them for the recognition. I do them because it's the right thing to do. So when I was awarded, I was just shocked. I was surprised. I loved it. It meant the world to me. I've actually right behind me or right in front of me, I've got the little trophy sitting on my mantle. But it was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the most exciting part about it. I know a lot of people are always like, can you tell me if I'm going to be winning or should I register? And I always push people, all of our nominees, I tell, either which way, anyone that's been nominated always gets some sort of recognition from us. So whether it's a certificate that we offer, we have great state representatives and senators that also put in proclamations and letters. And so you're getting so much kudos for the work that you do. But then it's like the icing on the cake because you're sitting there and you've got like no thought in your mind. You're like, if I get it, great, and then all of a sudden your name's called up. And I know I've been in that place for our organization where it was like, oh my gosh, there's a slew of organizations that are nominees. It would be awesome if we're recognized. And then as soon as it comes up, you're like, did I hear this right? Or am I like envisioning it in my head? Like,
then you get on stage and you're like, what do I say now?
Yes. I know. You're like, now that I'm shocked and I have pinched myself, this is real. Let me now walk and come up with a few words to say, since I just kind of rolled with it and let God choose it. So it's so exciting. I know that you are already registered for the gala this year to come out to it and kind of be supportive of our businesses. That's on October the 8th, which is right around the corner. So anyone that's tuned in, if you are interested in nominating a business, hint, hint, you can go online and do that. There are so many categories that are out there. And I know that you have some favorites in Westminster or around the area, really, that would benefit from some recognition, especially after the crazy year that we have been experiencing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've included in the chat section the link for the awards for anybody that's interested. Of course, we also have in the chat section the information about where to find Carrabba's, not only virtually, but of course in person when you're driving. We also have their phone number for you if you're interested in calling to make any orders, calling for any questions. Of course, you can engage with them on social media. They are on Twitter. They're also on Facebook and a couple of other platforms. So make sure that you are always tagging the Westminster Carrabba's because different ones have different handles. And sometimes you may end up tagging someone that's not in Westminster, Colorado. So really pay attention when you're tagging those people. So that way we're directing traffic to them. Of course, our broadcast with Parker today was for Small Business Week. And we are running this until the 20th. Every day we're featuring one of our area partners that is a small business that's doing some things and going above and beyond in ways that you can support them. Our efforts around Small Business Week outside of these live broadcasts have been those promotional posts. So if you guys have been seeing those posts, the purpose around that is to really get you excited about our small businesses. So many of them are offering opportunities for you to try them out, to do business with them, from 10% off to Carrabba's, who's offering 15% off. I mean, they're going above and beyond to try and support you in our community. So we ask that you support them. Now, our very first video that we did was Small Business Week, an overview, and I really emphasized in that ways that you can be supportive of business outside of just monetarily. There are so many ways that you can support them, from even leaving that positive review. It's so easy for us to leave negative reviews. It's a lot harder for us to leave positive reviews. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, let's change that dialogue, and you go over there and you enjoy Carrabba's, and you actually tell other people in your network how awesome it was by sharing just the message, even on their personal pages or on your networks. Now, Parker, I don't want to keep like steamrolling. He does rock. Counselor Seymour sharing, Parker rocks. He does. I don't know how he does this, but Parker is, you are one of the kindest souls that I've met. And outside of that, I just love how engaged you are. And a lot of people in our community see that, and they very much appreciate you for it. So just know that there are so many pockets of Westminster that know what you're doing and the impact outside of just the food that you're providing to our community.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, for sure. So we're getting to nearly the end of our 30-minute mark. Was there anything else you wanted to share out, Parker, before I start wrapping this up and talking their ear off about some other things?
Just come in here and see us. So, if you've never tried us, go try us out. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Feel free to call me, email me, pbrown@carrabbas.com. Anything that you ever have. And if you're not happy with us, let me know. That way, if I don't know about it, I can't fix it.
Yeah. And I love that. I think I spoke with you about this. I may not have shared this, but one of the things I do, and I so wish that more people did this, but when I run into an experience that is less than ideal, and it's not necessarily just restaurants, it could be hotels, it could be, I shopped online, whatever it was that I had an experience with, I always turn around and I reach out to that company directly. I will make it a point to find out who the manager is or who the main point of contact is, and I'll share my concern. And I do that not because I'm looking for a refund or I'm looking for something. I do it so that way they're aware of what's going on, and that way they can fix that for other people. Because a lot of times what happens is that there's so much going on that you don't really know, that there might be this small hiccup or this small thing that's happening that they can fix. And so, as Parker said, if you have a comment for him, if you have a question, if you had an experience, let him know, so that way he can make sure that he continues that experience for other people. He changes some things up, but a lot of our businesses are looking for that feedback so they can support, and the feedback in the way that really supports them, not going out there and commenting about how terrible this was. That does not help them. It does help them if you tell them what in specific and give them the opportunity to fix that. Now, if they give you the, it sucks for you response, I can see you being a little bit salty or bitter, but that likely won't happen with Carrabba's or some of our other partners.
I might think it, but I definitely won't say it.
Right. We have to filter.
That's definitely have to talking to Rich, so.
Yeah, to Rich specifically. So stop with those comments, Rich. We don't want them. No, that's awesome. For those of you that were tuned in, and I see Ken and Jesse, thank you guys for watching this video with us. We have Parker Brown from Carrabba's, located at 92nd and Old Wadsworth. They are one of our chamber partners. They are also doing some awesome things for Small Business Week, 15% off for anyone that mentions Small Business Week to them. Of course, if you are a member and mention to them that you are a chamber member, 15% off. And feel free to engage with us on this broadcast if you've not already done so. You can always ask us questions or leave us comments in the chat section. We love flattery. Parker loves flattery. If you want to tell him how awesome the restaurant was or things that you enjoyed, we also love hearing feedback. So if there's anything that you want us to be aware of or things that you want Parker to consider, definitely type it in. Feel free to DM the page if it's sensitive and you're like, I really don't want to go into detail on this in the chat section. We'll still get that out to Parker. Now, we may not be live by the time that you are watching this, and so we ask you to give us that hashtag replay so I know that you tuned in. And one of the main ways that you can continue to support our businesses right now and into the future is by sharing out these types of local messages, these shop local initiatives and activities that we do. So make sure that you hit the share button on this video and support our businesses and support our families that depend on them for their livelihood. So Parker, thank you so much for being on here with me. I've enjoyed having some time with you and being able to share you with our attendees and our viewers.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Great. Have a